Today, I'm going to be attempting to survive 100 days in Minecraft Java Edition's hardcore mode. How much could I do and would I survive? Well, you have to stick around to the end of the video to find out. Alright, so this is 100 days in Minecraft hardcore mode. Let's go. Right, so here we are in our beautiful new world, and straight away, as you see, I spawned right next to a cave, and there's someone coming up to say hello to me. Well, straight away I found myself some juicy watermelons, even though I hate them in real life, but this will be my source of food for a while, nice and easy to start with. Anyway, let's get some wood so we can start making ourselves some tools, make a wooden sword, and didn't even have to get meat because some very kind wolves killed all these sheep for me, so I had plenty of meat. And then I made myself a bed because I had wool already. Wow, this is going good, isn't it? And found some more watermelon. This couldn't be any easier, really. Anyway, I decided to try and find somewhere to live to begin with. I didn't really want to live in the jungle, even though there's some nice parrots here. But yeah, I quickly found a dark forest, and this was a bit dark, to be honest with you. Didn't really want to live here. But then my luck got even better. I came across a ruined nether portal. So I found myself some golden tools already, even though they were tools of vanishing, but better than nothing. Couldn't exactly get the gold block, and then I just continued walking to see if I could find somewhere nice to live. And then I found some cobblestone here, and I thought, oh, it's exposed cobblestone, I might as well make a little temporary base here for a bit, and get myself some cobblestone. Nice and easy. And I think there's a bit of coal down here as well. And then I found some iron, so it was going so well already. Just on day one, got the coal, and I could use this coal to smelt the iron once I got that. But I continued just getting loads of cobblestone, and once I made a stone pickaxe, I could actually get that iron. And there's also some copper down here as well. Now that copper armor and tools are in the game, I thought I might as well get that. And I needed some more wood, so I chopped down a tree here. And then I made some copper armor for the first time ever. And yeah, it looked pretty cool, but wasn't exactly giving me a lot of armor, but it was better than nothing on day 2. I did an iron sword on day 2 as well. Then I continued just getting as much cobblestone as I could for the rest of the day. And then I went to sleep on day 2, woke up on day 3, and it was time to leave this temporary base behind and try and find somewhere to actually set up base for proper this time. Came across a nice ravine, but I wasn't interested in doing any mining at the moment because I knew I'd be killed immediately. I made a boat, but using it with a controller on Java was a bit awkward. I was swinging all over the place, but it wasn't long before I came across a pirate ship. And yeah, it was pretty shallow as well, so I wouldn't have much chance of drowning. I found a treasure map as well, which was awesome, and a load of paper. I'll keep this for later when I eventually make some books to enchant my tools. And then I came across the other chest, but I kind of risked it a bit, and found a diamond already on day 3, but I almost died already on day 3 when I started drowning. And then I panicked and watched my hearts go down, but luckily it was shallow and I survived on 3 hearts. Yeah, okay, a little less risk, hopefully. And then I headed all the way to where the hidden chest was, which took quite a while to find. And I was just digging for hours, Minecraft hours, to try and find this hidden chest, but I went to bed, got up on day 4, and eventually found the hidden chest. I mean, it took long enough, but it had some pretty cool things in it, like TNT and water breathing, which would be useful. And then I headed off and found another ruined nether portal, which had some golden armor, but it was cursive binding. But I thought, you know what, it's going to do better than the copper armor, and I don't think it did actually, but now it's stuck on me. Oh well, I'm sure it'll break anytime soon. I came across a village for the first time, and I pretty much just looted all of their resources and just left them for dead. Yeah, I just got all this hay and some more watermelon, why the hell not? And also came across a smoker, so I stole that from them as well. And my inventory was already full, but I had the bundle, which was full up as well. And I came across some bookshelves, so I got all of those, which will give me a head start. And I left the village. And went to bed and woke up on day 6, and I continued just walking the world and trying to find somewhere to live, and I came across this nice woodland village, and I really do like this biome, so I thought, you know what, I might make my house near this village, and I can use them for then a raid later on in the game. And then I thought, you know what, this is a nice little plot of land right by the village, and yeah, I just had to find somewhere to live. So I got to the top of this hill and yeah, scouted out a nice little location, which is not too far from the village, and I thought, oh wow, there's a mine down here, this is going to be perfect, let's build a house right here. So the first thing I did was get rid of all of these trees, which I needed a bunch of wood anyway to build the house, as I wanted to, you know, I wanted the house to fit the aesthetic of the biome and the village. And after that, I needed to level out the land a bit, so I got rid of a bunch of dirt for ages on day 7, and this took quite a long time, and then it broke my shovel, but there was still a load of dirt left to get rid of. But I also needed to use this dirt to level out the ground, so it was, yeah, quite a good little way of doing it. And I set up a little temporary base here, so I can get some things out of my inventory, because it was absolutely ram-packed at this point. Woke up on day 8 and continued getting rid of a bunch of trees, because the more the merrier with these logs, because I'm going to use a lot of them, and there's enough to go around here. Plus I wanted to make it a little more open where my base is going to be, and I continued expanding the land. And then I sort of just leveled it out here naturally in, yeah, some sort of like makeshift natural way, just to make it look a bit more, you know, natural with the environment. How many times can I say natural in one sentence? And then I thought, you know what, I better go get some cobblestone, because I'm going to need a lot of cobblestone as well for this building. So I headed down into this sort of mine area, got myself some cobblestone and some copper as well. And then I found some coal, so I thought I might as well get that, because I'm going to need some coal at some point. And then it was night again, so I headed back up, and didn't want any mobs to spawn in, but at this point it's pretty dark, so some mobs did spawn in, and I went to bed quickly, and then started work on day 9 on the foundation of the house. This is going to be a mix of cobblestone and wood and logs, and it's going to be basically like a big old log cabin in the woods. And then I needed some more cobblestone, so I headed back down into the mine area and just mined a bunch of cobblestone for ages and ages. At the end of day 9, I continued just filling in my foundation for the house. And then once the foundation was done, I surrounded it with some wood, but if you're a keen player of Minecraft, you'll know that this is the wrong wood for this biome. Yeah, then I realised, oh wait, hang on, yeah, I'm not going to get any of this wood anytime soon. So I got rid of all of that and replaced it with the proper wood that was in this environment. Once that was done, then I decided to start building the pillars for my cabin. So this was just putting down some logs. See, this is why it's going to take a lot of wood, because I'm going to use a lot of logs in this building as well, which of course is not exactly the best way of doing it, but I wanted it to fit in with the environment. And I wanted to also build like a little deck around the house as well, so I got some slabs and made some wood, and yeah, just put a little deck around the house. Yeah, I wanted to make it look like a proper wood cabin, which is a super cozy little wood cabin in the woods here. And then I continued on building the inside of the house. Once I had placed all the supporting beams, then I decided to try and find out where I wanted my windows to go, and I wasn't happy with the initial design. So yeah, I would build the bottom floor with cobblestone as the proper foundation, and then the second half would be wood. And at this point on day 11, I decided, you know what, let's head down into the mine. And immediately I was shot by a skeleton. Yeah, nice little present there on my arrival. Took care of him, and then a zombie and a spider came out of nowhere and decided they wanted a piece of my rear end as well. Once they were all taken care of, then I could be on my merry way and get some resources such as coal and iron. But then I came across a Enderman who I accidentally looked at, and took care of him. He didn't even teleport, so that was nice and easy. But there was a lot more of them down here as well. It wasn't just one. There were quite a few. Came back on day 12 to continue, and that's when I discovered that there was a lot of mobs down here, including another Enderman, so I took care of him as well. He did teleport. And then there was another one as well. It was a good way of getting some ender pearls early on in the game, which had never seen so many endermen spawn in one area. Then I just explored the cave, which just so happened to be a luscious cave as well, which was, you know, super good, because there was a bit of extra natural light in there, because I didn't have many torches. And I found some iron, so I got all of that, as I'll be needing a lot of iron. Then I found out there was a hiding little enderman who didn't think I could see him, but I definitely could. And then a couple of creepers came out of nowhere and they gave me a bit of trouble, but then I went to bed, woke up on day 13, continued exploring the mine, and which was just absolutely full to the brim with mobs. Yeah, they were not very happy with my presence here, I'll just say that. But I found some more iron and more coal, so I got all of that, and I thought at this point, you know what, yeah, I've got enough stuff, let's head out of the mine and continue work on the house. So that's what I did. Decided to smelt all of my iron, which I had quite a bit now, and get some more wood, because I needed more wood to continue work on the house. And then I decided to get rid of all of this dirt as well that I left behind, as this was also in the way of my house. So yeah, got rid of all that, and that took a whole nother shovel, and it still wasn't completely gone. After that I continued work on the house, so building more pillars and just making it more aesthetically pleasing. You know, I really do enjoy this part of Minecraft, building my house, so I continued work on that. And then I decided to get some lava so I could cook this glass, because I didn't really have much coal. And I got rid of this lump of cobblestone here and filled that in as well, just to make it look a bit nicer. And then I had to get some more wood again. But then I filled in my windows because all the glass had cooked. So I had a lot of aspects in this house, as you can see. And then I began work on the second floor. So this was putting pillars in sideways. And yeah, as you can see, this is using a lot of wood, and this is why I really did have to get a lot of wood a lot of the time. And then I built my stairs to the second floor. Now the second floor would be a little bit easier, because I was going to build most of it just out of wood planks. And I thought this was a bit, you know, it took up a lot of room, this staircase, so I got rid of the logs on the outside and replaced them with some fences, which didn't really look much better, but at least it didn't take up as much room, I suppose. The house was a little bit small in retrospect, but yeah, I thought it was just going to be a nice little cozy cabin. And then I started work on the roof, which I used wooden steps to do that, which took quite a lot of wood as well. I completed about half of it, but I ran out of wood again, so I had to go and get more wood. And at this point I was going to be chopping down the whole bloody forest, I think. But then I came across a dog, and I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. Let's see if I can get this dog. And sure enough, on the last bone, I got the dog. And I think I'll name you Dog. Anyway, let's continue getting some more logs. Once I got enough logs than I thought I needed, I sort of began work on the other side of the roof, so they could meet up in the middle. So I wouldn't make one side of the roof bigger than the other, which I've done in the past. And at this point I ran out of steps again, so I had to go down and make some. And as you can see, it's pretty much almost complete. Just had to fill in the middle part, which I did, but then I ran out. I needed one more step. But then I thought, you know what, let's make it a more defined roof. Let's extend it out a little bit further. So yeah, I built some more steps, headed up, and just made it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, a little bit more stylistic, and I thought it looked pretty good. Then I thought, yeah, I gotta get some more wood again, and so I went over to the other side and I just built like a little stairway up to the top of this tree, which is the best way of doing it really. But then I broke my axe, I headed back, and it was dark, so a couple of spiders spawned in my house, which I had to take care of. Maybe I should start placing some torches in here. But yeah, then I continued work on my roof, just making it a little bit more nicer with some extra little details with the logs. And I thought this would, you know, elevate the aesthetic of it a little bit. Filled in the sides where there's a hole in the roof with some slabs, and then I got some more glass and filled in the windows. And I filled in the window the other side as well. But then I thought, you know what, isn't this where my fireplace is going to be? So yeah, I initially forgot about that, and then I was like, oh yeah, wait, which side is the fire going to be? Yeah, it's this side, isn't it? Oh damn, now I have to get rid of all that. Anyway, placed some torches down, didn't want any more mobs spawning in here, especially creepers. Yeah, then I ran out of lava, so went and got some more lava, so I could cook some cobblestone, but then I had a surprise visitor. Yeah, some pillagers had made their way to my house. I didn't even know this happened. I guess it was in one of the new updates in Minecraft. And then, yeah, I sent a pig flying off the edge. So pigs do fly, believe it or not. And continued extra little details on the house. And then I got rid of all of that tree again. The rest of it. Because they do give you a lot of wood. But the dog followed me up. And he was being rather annoying. Because I'd keep hurting him every time I got rid of a log. And then I continued work down at the house with the deck and putting a fence around it. And then I put my front door in and filled in the glass on the top. And then, yeah, the house was pretty much done. All I needed to do now, really, was to just the chimney. And this is going to take a lot of stone, as I wanted to make it look a little bit different to the rest of the house. So I used proper stone for this. And then yeah, lucky I did have quite a bit, because this was going to take quite a lot of stone. Finished the chimney. I just wanted to add some extra details to it, but I needed more cobblestone, so I've decided, yeah, you know what, let's build a basement. So I started work on that, went to bed and cooked some logs so I could make some charcoal to build my fireplaces, and went back down into the basement so I could get rid of all the dirt in there. And this would be my chest room down below here, so it needed to be nice and big. And there was a lot of dirt to get rid of, but you guessed it, I ran out of wood again, so it was back to chopping down some more trees. And then I built some more fireplaces, so I placed those in on the bottom and the top floor. And then I added some extra little details to my chimney just to make it a little bit more defined and not so blocky. And it was pretty much finished. Placed some fires on the top, so it had some smoke coming out, which looked pretty nice. And yeah, it was looking like a very cozy little cabin. I just had to get on with the basement now. So I went in there, got rid of a bunch more dirt, broke another shovel, and then I decided to move my stuff inside, because at this point the house was practically done. I made my furnace area and crafting area right in front of the fire. As yeah, why not? That's the perfect area for it. I then continued down in the basement, getting rid of more dirt. Got rid of another layer of dirt in there, but I still need to get rid of another layer as well. And I got rid of all this cobblestone, which is fine because I needed cobblestone anyway. So yeah, then I had to get rid of another layer of dirt, of course, like I mentioned, and found some more coal down here as well. So I got rid of that, and then I continued just mining down the cobblestone. But then the pickaxe broke, of course, so I had to come back the next day and finish the job. Yeah, but then I needed to get rid of another floor, because I needed the height to be about 3 blocks high. So I needed a lot of depth down here. And I filled in the floor with cobblestone, and then I started putting some pillars in, just to make it a little bit nicer down here, because I didn't want it to just be one big block of cobblestone down here. Filled in the sides with a lot of cobblestone, left a few little gaps so I could put some pillars in, but I didn't really have much wood, so I had to leave those for now. Bit of little entrance here because I wanted this to be my cobblestone mine, and this would take me down to where the main mine was as well. But then I heard some horrible noises down there, and turns out there were some pillagers stuck down here. I guess it was the guy I threw off the edge earlier. He was still down there. And I had to get some more cobblestone, of course, so I went down into the mine and just mined a bunch of cobblestone for ages. Did that for most of day 26, and yeah, got a bunch of cobblestone, more than I'd ever need, to be honest with you. Well, I hoped that, but yeah, I still had a lot of use for this cobblestone, so yeah, continued filling in the basement, and then I had to get a bunch more logs again, so I chopped down a massive, great big tree again. And yeah, saw a nice view from up here. Yeah, looking very nice. So I quite like that. And then I got rid of all the rest of the tree, headed back into the basement, filled in all of the pillars that were missing, and that would practically finish the basement aesthetically. But then I needed to just add a little few extra things around the side of the house just to finish it off, and bit of pillar right through the middle of the house just to add a little extra definition to it. Built the stairway to the bottom of the basement, put some torches in so mobs wouldn't spawn down here, and yeah, I left a little gap at the sides for some natural light, which I thought was a pretty cool design. Finished off the stairway, but I had to get some more logs again. Who could have guessed it? So yeah, mined a whole another big massive tree down, and the reason I did this was because I needed some barrels. I decided to go with barrels instead of chests because it would look like a wine cellar then, and yeah, pretty cool way of disguising my chests. And yeah, I built more chests than I'd probably need, but you know, anything to make it look symmetrical. As you can see, that looks pretty cool. And then, you know, emptied my inventory because I had a lot of junk, so organised the chests. Didn't have labels for them at the moment, but then I had to get rid of the big chest outside, which was rather annoying and took quite a long time to organise. Although I still had a lot of food, I needed some sort of way of making food, because at some point I was going to run out, so I decided to clear up this little area here and, you know, make a little farm, because I didn't have many resources at the moment. I only had a few potatoes and a few seeds. Had to go get a bit of water, of course, and then after that I made some iron armour. I still had the gold leggings and boots, and headed down into the mine, but straight away I was shot by a rude skeleton again. Took him out. Fortunately I didn't get his enchanted bow. There was a pillager down here, so I took care of him, and there was another one as well, took care of him, and then I got the bottle. I just needed to find a village now, but luckily I had one right next to me, didn't I? But at this point I was nowhere near ready to face off against a raid. So for now I just continued down in the mine, getting some more coal and iron, but I headed deeper into the mine this time because I was a bit more prepared. But then Dog did something pretty stupid. He set himself alight, and there was a mad panic to, you know, put the fire out before he burnt alive. Yeah, big tip here, don't take your dog down into the mine. You know, he's good for skeletons, but he just ended up getting himself killed. And then I found my first natural diamond, which was pretty neat. And yeah, found quite a few of them. This was the main reason I came down here, is to get some diamonds. And then headed deeper into the mine, but this sort of just led to a dead end. So yeah, couldn't really find many diamonds down here. I thought the cave would be a bit bigger. Found a bit of gold. I might need that later for some golden carrots. Came across a bit more diamond. Found quite a few actually. A bit more gold. I found some lapis, so I got that because I'll need that later for enchanting. And then I decided to head back out the mine because yeah, I've really explored it all now, and it wasn't quite as vast as I had hoped. I went outside and killed a bunch of animals so I could feed the dog because he was very, very weak, as you can see. And then I cleared this area because seeing this cow here gave me an idea. I need to make a cow farm, don't I? So I cleared a bunch of trees, got a bunch of dirt, and started making the land a bit bigger there. Smelted some ores, came across another pillager who I took out, and continued expanding the cow farm here, just to level it out a bit. And then I made a bunch of fences and surrounded the whole area with fences, and it was a big area as I was going to need a lot of cows, and I didn't want to just shove them into a 2x2 box, and yeah, because that never turns out very well. So I continued just building the fence around, and this was taking a lot of wood, of course. Eventually I had enough wood to continue that and finish it off. At this point my crops were grown, so I could expand the farm, as I needed a bunch of wheat, of course, to feed the cows. And I guess I'd use the potatoes for my food, although The potatoes aren't very good even when they're baked. I really needed some carrots to make golden carrots, but couldn't find any. I then found a cow, so I took him back to the farm. I needed to find another one though, so I found another one. So I got 2 cows. I just needed to take them over to the other side. And at some point I need to build a bridge here, so for now I just built a dirt bridge. Can you not be so annoying, dog? Anyway, built the bridge over, got both cows in the pen, and then I could start mating them. Headed back to the village, which was very quiet actually. Yeah, it looks like at some point they had a massive zombie apocalypse and the whole village is pretty much wiped out, which is not very good because I wanted to do a raid there, didn't I? And yeah, found another cow, so I took him back. And then I just decided to make my farm look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So I built like a little border around it. And yeah, I cleared out a bit of land as well, so I can make it a bit more unified. Filled in some little patches that were missing, and yeah, that looked a lot better. So I went back to the cow farm and mated the cows again. This was going to be a slow process, but it was going to be a long time before I was going to need the cows and their leather anyway. Then I decided to do a bit more landscaping around the house, as I wanted to build a bridge over to the village that was, yeah, pretty much abandoned now. But, you know, I felt like I wanted to make like my house connected to the village in a way, and it was like the hall of the village, and I was like the lord of the village. So anyway, filled in a bit of dirt here because there's a big gap that was quite annoying for me to get over. Put some torches down there because last thing I wanted was mobs to spawn in there and just continuously make noises, which is more annoying than anything on the planet. I need to get some more wood again, of course, so yeah, mined down a bunch more trees. And then I decided to, then I did a bit more landscaping, just putting a border around the edges of my house, just to make it look, you know, a little bit better. And I thought this did a pretty good job of just cleaning things up a bit, you know. Then I had to get rid of this massive pile of dirt, which took quite a long time, but it was in the way of where the bridge would be. So I filled in a bit more of the hole there, and then yeah, there's a nice clean avenue to where the bridge is going to be once I build that. And yeah, did a bit more farming, expanded the farm a bit more, went over to the cows, mated them again, and continued doing a bit more landscaping, just finishing things off, ready for the lineup for the bridge, as that would be my next big project. But the next thing I had to do was go and get some more cobblestone. Yeah, turns out I didn't have enough cobblestone, so I spent a long time in the mine just getting a bunch more cobblestone. And on day 40, then I started work on my bridge to cross over to the village. And yeah, wasn't too sure on the design of this. I wanted it to be, I don't know, a mix of cobblestone and stone, and built one side and the other so I could line it up. So I did as much of the bridge as I could possibly do, the resources I had, but I needed some stone, so I just left in the gaps there. And then, yeah, made a nice little path to make things look a lot cleaner to the bridge. And, yes, some sort of nice little avenue. And then I had some stone, so I filled in the gaps in the bridge. And I thought this was a, yeah, pretty nice design. I didn't want to make it completely out of one resource. So then I continued just building away at that. And, yeah, it took quite a while and a lot of stone. But I wanted to look, you know, a lot nicer than just your basic old bridge. Yeah, so it was looking pretty good, I thought. So yeah, I was happy with the design and finished it by day 41 and thought that looked pretty good. A little bridge leading over to my house now that connects me to the village that no one's in anymore because the zombies killed them all. I planted some trees down to add to the avenue, because there's always some trees that lead you to the house and avenue. So then I continued work on the farm, expanding that quite a bit more, and I quickly filled in most of the land there, but I didn't really need much more than that anyway. And then I made a path over to where the cows were, but the problem is there was no bridge there really, was there? So I was going to have to build another bridge. And firstly I just, you know, cleaned things up a bit, joined all the paths together. A tree grew, so I cleared that up and just built a path all the way around my house. Did a little bit of landscaping as the path didn't quite join around the back, and then I joined all the path up, and yeah, continued work on the landscaping. And I pretty much finished all that off, but yeah, I just wanted to surround the whole area of my house with a nice little border, which I did all the way to the bridge here, because now I'm going to start work on building another bridge over to the cows. This one wouldn't be quite so big, it would be like a little bit smaller, but it would be longer. But I just wanted to keep it with the same sort of aesthetic as the other one. So yeah, day 44 I continued work on that, but yet again I got rather low on resources. This was quite a resource heavy design I was going with, but yeah, I wanted to make it look, you know, nice. So yeah, continued work on that, and then I mated the cows again. As yeah, I was getting quite a bit of a flock of cows, a herd of cows, sorry to say. Anyway, continued work on the bridge, finishing that up. Just did a few extra things with the bridge just to make it a little bit more defined, and then yeah, by day 45 it was complete, and I was fairly happy with it. It didn't turn out as nice as I thought. Then I had a visitor on day 46, rather rude. Maybe I should place some torches down here, but I don't think I ever did. But the house was rather, I don't know, dull. There wasn't much colour, so I decided to head to a meadow to try and find myself some flowers. Yeah, I was hunting in Minecraft for flowers, but yeah, I found a few, but I wanted quite a range of different flowers. So yeah, found a bunch of more flowers in the woodland here, and killed as many sheep as I could so I could get some more meat for the dog. And yeah, found all sorts of flowers, but then I came across a pillager tower in a meadow. So I could kill two birds with one stone here. I could get a bunch more flowers and also raid this pillager tower. But they also had an iron golem locked up, so I panicked and quickly tried to get him out before I was attacked again. But in my haste, I accidentally hit him, didn't I? So he was aggroed at me, and I had to run away for a bit because I didn't want him chasing me when he should be taking out the pillagers. Anyway, I eventually said sorry to him and, you know, repaired him, and he was happy with that. And we took out the pillager tower together, which the loot was absolutely terrible. Didn't know why I even bothered doing this, but I suppose it was something to do, and I got a few resources out of it, I suppose, like this hay. And then I continued just getting a bunch more flowers. I just wanted to get as many as possible, just to make my garden look a lot nicer. Also came across some firefly bushes, so I took those as well. And there was a bunch of sheep, so I took all them out, just to get some more meat for the dog. Came across another ruined nether portal, yet again, but I thought this was a good opportunity to finally get myself some obsidian, because I would need it at some point, of course, to go to the nether to get myself some blaze rods. So yeah, built a diamond pickaxe and used that to get a bunch of obsidian. Just 10 blocks is all I needed for now. And then what was in the chest, I hear you ask? Oh, a golden apple and some glistening melon. Yeah, so then I found a bunch more sheep, killed all those as well. Had plenty of meat now for the dog, and headed back to the base. And at this point I decided to place down all my flowers that I found. Yeah, I had a bunch, and I just went in circles, just placing as many flowers as possible, just to make things look a lot nicer. And it did, it made, yeah, it was lovely. It's like a wildflower meadow, and yeah, it's quite beautiful. And then I continued, you know, just doing a bit of farming and expanded the farm as much as I could, and at this point it was pretty much maxed out in this area. I couldn't really expand it anymore, but I didn't really need to. Then I went over to the cows and made some more cows as well, because yeah, the more the merrier, I suppose. And they had plenty of room, so then I went over to this area where I'm getting the lava from, and I thought this would be an absolutely brilliant area to pit my nether portal. So I started clearing things out there and started building my nether portal, but then I placed a block underneath the lava, which was rather annoying because that means I had one less block than I needed. And I decided that I would get some water and make some obsidian in here. But the dog was in the way. Can you move, please, dog? Please? Thank you. And yeah, so then I placed some water down, but I made the mistake of placing it too high, and yeah, it took out like most of the lava in the nether portal room, which kind of ruined it a bit, but it still looked pretty cool. And I decided to get, you know, a few more blocks here for my enchantment table later on. I wanted to make it look, you know, like an ancient cave, so I found some more of this mossy cobblestone, and yeah, made it look a bit more natural, I suppose, with some ancient pillars in there. And yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool, so I had to get some more of that on day 50 and continue working there to just make it look yeah, like just like an ancient little room that I've come across. And I thought it looked pretty cool in the end. Went over to the cows again, mated them, because why the hell not? And yeah, look at these fireflies. I know this was in the game. There's still things about this game I'm still learning now. I decided to head back in the mines, but I had to find somewhere that I hadn't been to before, and I had to find a mine. So I found a mine and got some more iron and cobblestone, and the dog was being useful for once. He actually took out a skeleton for me. And then we were absolutely bombarded by loads of zombies. And yeah, things got pretty intense there for a minute. But I almost got taken out by a zombie with a shovel. He very nearly killed me. And then he destroyed my shield. I was defenseless. But I took him out, luckily. And then another zombie came and took me down to a heart and a half. I just survived. Yeah, anyway, I continued getting some more iron and some lapis. Two skeletons came out of nowhere and ended up just fighting each other, which I found pretty entertaining. Then I found some more gold and just continued going around this mine, just getting whatever resources I came across. And then yeah, I was pretty much done with that mine, so I headed back out. But then I saw a village in the corner of my eye across this ice plain, so I ran across there to the village because I needed a new village, of course, to do my raid at some point. So this was fairly close to home, but I also wanted to find some carrots, which I managed to do. I was going to go sleep here, but then someone stole my bed. Get the hell out. And then continued the next day, just stealing all their resources and whatever I could find. Even found a blast furnace, which is something I really did need. So yeah, that was a good find. Then I decided to just explore this area a bit more, as it's a very nice biome. I came across a mountain with some goats and also another cave, and so I headed down into there. But there was, well, this cave's main enemy just so happened to be creepers. I'm surprised there wasn't a creeper spawner. If they existed, then there definitely was, but there wasn't. It was just full to the brim of creepers, this cave. I was being blown to pieces. The dog even almost got blown up by 2 creepers. I just don't know why there was so many down here. And then another one almost killed me from behind. Lucky I heard him. And then I just found a bunch more coal and headed down deeper into the mine. And what do you know, there was more creepers down there. But I was mainly after diamonds. I needed some more diamonds, but then I came across a mine shaft, which I thought, oh, yeah, this is pretty good. But yeah, it was a nightmare. But the main thing was I found some more diamonds down here. Then not 1, but 2 baby zombies came and attacked me, and I was panicking. They just ran off somewhere else. I don't know why. Creeper blew up. He blew up my little safety area, and they came back, and I ran off like a bloody chicken. But one thing I hate in this game is baby zombies. I was so scared I took my golden apple. But eventually I did manage to kill both of them. But then I came closest to the point of death yet. I was bombarded by 2 cave spiders who took me to a half heart. They hit me one more time, I would have been dead and the run would have been over. But I managed to survive. And I found some more diamonds, found a diamond in a minecart chest. But then I was in the deep dark and it had been activated by a mob. So I ran the hell out of there because I was not prepared in any way, shape or form to fight the warden. So yeah, I went and I just yeah, left that mine shaft because it was cursed and it was too dangerous. So I just continued, you know, exploring the area, just trying to find some more diamonds, some lapis, And then I decided to, strip mine. It's rather boring, and it took a long time, but eventually I made it back to the house, and I found like a stack's worth of diamonds, so it was definitely worth it, but it was, quite boring. But I headed back up to the surface at this point, and went back home, but it just so happened to be night, didn't it? So I was attacked by some mobs who, weren't very friendly. And then just so happened to be a bunch of mobs spawning around my house, so I couldn't go to bed, so I had to take all those out, and all I wanted to do was sleep. And then a creep ended up blowing up half of my little embankment here. Placed my blast furnace down, and decided to smelt all those ores I found. And then I made another little room in the basement, and this room would be the enchantment room. I started off fairly early at day 61 because I knew it was going to be quite a challenge to get all the resources to make the bookshelves. You see, I hadn't even placed down any sugarcane yet. So I made the enchantment table, although it was fairly useless at the moment because I didn't really have many books. I placed what little I did have down, but then I realised, I gotta get that sugarcane, and so I went on a hunt for loads of sugarcane. So I just went around the whole area, just getting all of the sugarcane I could, went back to the base and planted it low down. But I kept a few so I could make some more bookshelves for now. Mated the cows so I could make more leather. Killed a bunch of the cows as it was time to start making some books. So I could make a couple more bookshelves, but I was still missing a fair few. And then at this point the farm was practically fully grown, so got rid of all of that. And made myself a saddle, because you can make saddles now, which is pretty cool. As I wanted to go get myself a horsey. So, on the way to finding a horse, I got some more sugarcane, and realised that I needed to have a free hand to get on a horse. The horse almost dropped me in a lava, so I was like, you know what, I don't really like this one. But there's a bunch of horses here, so I could just find out which had the most health to speed ratio. And eventually I found out that this was a pretty good one, this brown one. Look how much health it has, and it's fairly fast. So I got myself a horse. Just needed to find him some armour at some point. I headed back to the base, but there was really nowhere to put the horse for now. But I continued just doing the farm, and I just kind of abandoned the farm at this point because I had really all the resources I needed out of it. But I needed to find somewhere to put the horse. So I thought, you know what, I'll probably make a stables down there, but firstly I need to stop the horse from running off. I didn't have a lead, so I just trapped him in the house. And then I just flattened out the land down here a bit so I could make myself a little stable, and I began work on that. Just keeping it with the same sort of aesthetic design as the house, and didn't really spend too much time thinking about how it would look. But I also wanted to make some stairs down to there, so I built like a little staircase and continued work just building the stables. By the end of day 64, built a little path up to it. Kind of ran out of resources though again. A dog came out of nowhere and chased off this skeleton for me, but unfortunately the skeleton won. And if you wonder what happened to my dog, well, he died. He got blown up by a creeper ages ago. Unfortunately I didn't catch it on camera though, because I don't continuously film, because otherwise I'd have 20 hours of footage. But then I couldn't go to sleep again because there just happened to be mobs. At some point maybe I should place some torches around the house. But it wasn't around the house, it was in the house. It was another pesky little baby zombie, my arch enemy. Took care of him, put the horse in the stables, and then I placed down some carrots instead of potatoes in the farm, as I wanted to make a bunch of golden carrots. Then I had a thunderstorm, and this wasn't great because, a bunch more mobs spawned in, and even a creeper did, and he was threatening to blow up half the house. I expanded the enchantment room a bit more. I was almost there now, but it was taking its time, and more mobs spawned in, and they were just coming out of nowhere and attacking me. A bunch of zombies came out of nowhere, and what do you know, a baby zombie came out as well, and had fun trying to hit him. The next morning the rain finally stopped, and a zombie had a bone to pick with me. I then made another little staircase down towards the weir, so I wanted to make a path over the weir because there was no bridge over there yet, so I had to build that. And I thought this would look pretty cool if I put slabs here, and make it so the water overflows. And yeah, it was a pretty cool design. I was happy with it. It's just a basic little bridge, you know, just so I can get my horse over. And I got rid of all this dirt underneath so the water would flow under, and it looked pretty cool. Yeah, I was happy with that. On day 68, I went over to the village and took the bottle to get the pillagers to come over to do a raid. But yeah, it turns out it doesn't work, and that says villagers there. So yeah, couldn't do it there. So what I had to do was head back over to that village I found in the snow biome, which was quite a way away, and do it there instead, as I wanted a totem of undying. I'll probably end up dying trying to get it, and the raid went pretty well at first. But as usual with the raids in Minecraft, the mobs end up, you know, spawning in random places and you can't find them. But the horse was no good, so I just did it all on foot for now. And yeah, I had pretty good armor, so I was pretty prepared for this. But it took me a while to find out where the mobs had actually spawned, and they spawned over here in the iceberg, which was pretty annoying. And yeah, it took quite a long time just to, you know, do this raid, because yeah, the mobs were just spawning in such random places. And got back on the horse because yeah, well, there was a bunch of witches and they were absolutely punishing me, but I didn't want the horse to die, so he was pretty weak, so I had to get off of him, take out the witches. The next round happened and all of the pillagers spawned over here, and this was the big round. You know, this is when it gets hard. Mainly the axe guys you had to worry about. I pushed these guys off the cliff, took care of them, and I don't know what they were doing over here. But as soon as they saw me, yeah, they started heading over. You know, if I went down there, I knew it would be suicide. So I built a little sneaky tunnel, see if I could, you know, just hit away at them. They were sending the flying guys through the bricks at me. They were going through the bricks, they were taking me out. And I almost died. And I just quickly burrowed in here, and thankfully they left me alone, but I thought I'm going to have to get some hired help. So that's what I did. I found some pumpkins, and I made a couple of iron golems to help me out here, as this was going on for far too long. And they actually did help out quite a bit, and I got myself a totem of undying, which is just what I needed. And I did have intentions to continue the raid, but I looked forever to try and find this one remaining pillager, but I couldn't. So I said, you know what, I've got a totem of undying, let's just head out, and I headed back home. And I used that nice little weir that I put in place to get my horse over to the other side. I expanded my little carrot farm, and then went over to the cows and killed a bunch of them because I needed some more leather to make some more bookshelves, and tidied things up a bit, did some unfinished jobs, and repaired the path that the creeper blew up quite a few days earlier, and then got some more sugarcane. It wasn't fully made yet, but I just had to try and get this enchantment room done because I really needed to head back into the Nether. And then got some more logs and took another look at my house, which was looking pretty cool. Headed back down into the enchantment room, expanded that a bit more, and I thought, maybe this is actually at max level now. Turns out it wasn't, no. We were at 28, we needed 30. But that sort of screwed that sword up, because it would only get a maximum of 28 now. So headed back out into the wild to try and find myself some sugarcane. I was that desperate, I had to go and find it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did for the whole of day 73. Just going around finding whatever sugarcane I possibly could, just to make one more bookshelf. And sure enough, that did it. They got us to level 30. But it was a bit imbalanced, so I got rid of all the sugarcane just to make one more bookshelf, just to, you know, make it a bit more symmetrical. I wasn't going to bother the other side, as I was going to get an anvil there. So then I could finally, you know, enchant the sword. And I got sharpness 3 on this sword, and then fortune 3 on my pickaxe. So that was fairly good. I made some golden boots because it was time to finally head into the Nether at last. Yeah, it's time to go. So headed into the Nether, and I couldn't have asked for a worse spawn, really. right high up, right on an edge, and in the soul sand biome with the skeletons. And what did I have? I didn't have a bow. Mainly I didn't have any arrows. What I really needed was to get a bunch of XP from quartz and enchant a bow with infinity. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I just went around finding whatever quartz I could, spending ages going around and around and around, and then yeah, almost got trick-shotted by a gas, and then I found out, wow, the Nether Fortress is right here, so that was pretty handy, but I wasn't prepared at all to go in there at the moment. So I got a bunch more quartz, just spent ages going around getting quartz, like 2 days worth, almost found on a hole right next to the Nether portal, and headed back out. And then I could start enchanting some armour, because I had a lot of XP. So I've enchanted practically all of my armour, didn't bother with the boots, because I was going back in the Nether in a minute, and needed some sort of golden armour on. Expanded the carrot farm again, went back into the Nether, as it was time to go to the Nether Fortress, and try and get some blaze rods, and a bit more XP. So I made a little sneaky tunnel, but yeah, it wasn't sneaky enough, turns out. Just to get down in there, because I wanted to be super careful, and I just slowly took things out on my way to the Nether Fortress. Took out some blazes and made a little path into the Nether Fortress because I couldn't find an entrance, so I had to dig into it. And then just went through the hallways, being super careful. Found some horse armor and more horse armor, and yeah, just slowly took things out throughout the hallways. Unfortunately, the drop weight for blaze rods wasn't very good, so I had to spend a lot of time in here. And as you can see, I height restricted the hallways so the lanky wither skeletons couldn't get through. But then I made the biggest mistake I've made yet in this run. I hit a zombie piglin, and I was bombarded. They cornered me and I didn't know what to do. I quickly switched to my totem of undying because I knew I could probably die at this point if I didn't have that thing enabled. And I quickly ran away. I thought I was just made it. I thought I was free, and I panicked, made a little room for myself. But then they had something up their sleeve. A baby. They sent a baby in there, and I panicked and I couldn't hit him, and he killed me. It activated the totem of undying, and yes, I died. But thanks to the totem of undying, I didn't. 2 more baby zombies came after me as well. So I wasn't going to mess with them again as I didn't have another totem of undying. So yeah, I just carefully continued just to get some more blaze rods. And yeah, it took quite a long time. I got rid of this spawner because they just... Well, I mean, you turn your back in this place and they spawn in. So you didn't really need a spawner. But I just had to just continue just taking them out because I needed at least 12 blaze rods, I'd say. So yeah, I just spent a long time here just slowly and carefully, very carefully taking out as many blazes as I could. But then at this point I got a bit overwhelmed and things got a bit crazy, and I quickly ran down this hallway because there was a wither skeleton after me, and yeah, came very close to death there. So on day 80 I left and I had 12 blaze rods at last. It took quite a long time and a lot of punishment, but eventually I got there. So yeah, anyway, I had a much more XP, and at this point I wanted to get myself a good bow, of course, so wasn't really getting infinity, but on the last one, thankfully I did get infinity, so I could make myself a very good bow with infinity and power 4, flame, punch. Yeah, this bow was going to be practically unstoppable. And then I decided to, you know, speed things up a bit with the carrot farm, so I used some bone meal, as I had a lot of bones, to expand that, and I could finally make myself some golden carrots. But then I tried to shoot this skeleton in the water, but I couldn't, and I realised, oh, I need at least 1 arrow, don't I? So I went and killed him, and luckily I got an arrow. And then I tamed another dog. Dog's back. He gets reincarnated. So then me, dog and horse headed back out into the wild as I wanted to find another mine. And eventually I did find another mine, and I headed down into there as I needed to get a few more resources. Headed in there, Took care of a lot of the mobs with my new bow. I was practically unstoppable, and my enchanted armor. Got a bunch more coal. Found another mine shaft, which was pretty cool, although it was a pretty small one. There wasn't a lot in there, apart from a bunch of mobs, as you can see. But the main thing I was here for was gold, as I needed some more gold to, of course, make some more golden carrots. I was thinking about finding the Badlands, but I thought that would probably take me longer than just, you know, going down into the mines. And it probably helped that I found a mine shaft as well, because yeah, I think they have a higher rate of spawning gold. Anyway, after getting a bunch more gold, headed back out of the mine, and then went back to the house on the horse. But then on my way, I found another village, and I thought, you know what, let's go and see if we can find ourselves some more carrots. And yeah, there wasn't really a lot there, and it was probably like the village with the least amount of farms I've ever seen. I found like one little farm, but it only had wheat growing there, so yeah, no more carrots. But no worries, I just made my way back home. I mean, it was so far away that it even got dark as well, but eventually I did make my way back home. But then it got completely dark, didn't it? And I ended up in a dark woodland forest. And yeah, you know what those places are like. I was bombarded by mobs every 5 minutes. But eventually I found my house. I got a bit lost there, but I found the house, and there was a few visitors there waiting for me who were rather unpleasant. And yeah, so I took them out, and then I smelted all my gold and continued with my carrot farm, and I think I'll be fine with carrots now. I used all the bones I had to yeah, get as many carrots as I possibly could. And then a creeper blew up half my stable, so I had to repair that, and made a bunch of gold nuggets so I could make like a load of golden carrots. And it was time to head back into the Nether, and this time I had a bow. But right next to the portal, turns out, was a bastion. So I thought, you know what? Let's take out all these pigs, and let's steal all their loot, because there was a couple of chests just sat there. I had to go over and see what was in them. I mean, not a lot of good stuff really, but it was worth it. And yeah, I found a diamond pickaxe and mending, which was pretty cool. But I just slowly made my way through the bastion, taking out all the pigs carefully, because the guys with the axes are absolutely lethal, the brutes. So yeah, found a bit more gold and a couple more chests. Almost fell down into the lava when I fell through a hole. Attacked by a Pumbaa, so I had to take him out. The sword wasn't doing much good, so I cooked him with the bow. There was another one. I then slowly took out all the rest of the piglins. But it turns out that this bastion wasn't one of the good ones with the gold at the bottom and the chest at the bottom, so I left it quickly and just tried to continue finding the Weeping Forest, I believe it's called, where of course all the Endermen spawn. So eventually I did find it. I mean, it took a long time to find, and there were some close calls in there, but I found it, and then I just, you know, spent ages here trying to get myself some ender pearls, and it took a long time because the drop rate was pretty poor. So I was here for quite a few days just collecting ender pearls, which eventually I got all that I needed. I got 12, so I headed back out, but then I found a dried gas, and I thought, oh, maybe this is how you get the happy gas. I didn't know how to do it, so I had to search it up. Anyway, made myself some Eyes of Ender, and enchanted my boots, and enchanted the rest of my armour. So I had a lot of enchantment points. Enchanted my sword again, and then I had some nasty visitors while I put my dried gas in the water, because it needed to be in the water for 1 day before I could use it. And I had a baby zombie visit me as well, and his dad. So I had to take them out. Now I didn't have a lot of time left. It was day 92. So I headed back out into the wild because I knew there was one way that you could speed up the process of a happy gas, and that was getting snow. But You know what? I totally forgot how to get snow. I thought, this ain't giving me any snow, so I headed down into the icebergs to get some proper snow off of there. But it still wasn't giving me any snow, and then I had this euphoria moment. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. How long have I been playing this game? I forgot that you need a shovel to get snow. Yes, I totally forgot. So I made myself a shovel and got a bunch of snow. I didn't know how much I needed, so I just got loads, and you can only make stacks of 16, which is pretty weird. So I headed back to the house, but I wasn't in the same area as the gas, so no time would have really passed, so it wouldn't have grown, annoyingly. Got a bit lost again, it got dark, and yeah, as you see, another baby zombie came to my house. What is it with these guys? I really should have just placed some torches. It would have been a whole lot easier if I just placed some damn torches around my house. And another creeper blew off my stables. So I just stayed here for ages, AFK, on a pillar, just while the gas grew, because I really didn't have much time. And I just gave him loads and loads of snowballs, and that eventually turned him into an adult. And I had to make a saddle. So I made the saddle, but half the trouble was getting the happy gas to come over to me. I mean, he would come, but I couldn't quite reach him. I was too small. Eventually, I managed to get the saddle on him, but then he flew off again. And after a while, I managed to get on top of him. And then it was time to try and find the end. But this didn't last long, I can tell you, because it was a bit tedious doing it on a happy gas. He was rather slow, and then when the Eyes of Ender dropped, yeah, it was hard to get him back. So I said, you know what, screw the happy gas, let's get on the horse. And eventually I even ditched the horse trying to find the end portal. It took ages. I was really far away from it, I think. And eventually I got to this area here, and I threw another Eye of Ender, and it went backwards, so I knew I was roughly in the area. But there was a lot of mobs giving me trouble. So yeah, luckily there was a little mine here as well I could head down into, so I didn't have to mine directly down. That's rule number 1 in Minecraft, don't mine down. So I dug into this water cave, and luckily I have aqua affinity, so I just swam around that for ages and then dug down, and luckily I went into another cave. And then, yeah, I dug into the stronghold, which was, yeah, brilliant. So I found the stronghold, and now it's just trying to find the portal. But, yeah, there were a lot of mobs down here. So much so that I thought, yeah, there's got to be a spawner down here somewhere. I mean, they were bombarding me. I forgot to make myself a bunch of buckets, so I made them. Got a bunch of water because I need those in the end. And I just explored the stronghold for a bit, seeing what loot I could find. But the loot was pretty rubbish, to be honest with you. And then I found all these mobs here, and they were giving me some trouble. There were so many of them, I just blocked up the hole to stop them coming. I found the library, but there wasn't really much in there. But then I found it. There was a spawner, a zombie spawner. So I went in there, took all the zombies out, and just to see what was in this chest out of curiosity, really. And there wasn't much. But then I went to the portal, eventually found it on day 98. Can't a bit close here, aren't I? And then I was bombarded by the silverfish, and yeah, they were overwhelming me a bit, should I say. Eventually they did stop spawning, went to the portal, and found out I just had enough Eyes of Ender. Luckily, I just needed 6 and I had 7, so yeah, there you go. And now it was time to enter the end at last. So we're in the end, and yeah, I spawned right over here. One thing I did forget to get of was a lot of blocks, as I need blocks as well, but luckily I had a whole stack of logs so I can make a bunch of wood. And then yeah, prepared myself to fight the dragon. Headed up above ground, and I wasted no time taking out all the exposed towers. And this is why, of course, I wanted the bow with infinity. Can you imagine trying to do this with no bow? And the worst thing is, you know, taking a bow without infinity, and then it runs out of arrows. Yeah, so just slowly took out all of the pillars, and then I got absolutely pinpoint accuracy by the Ender Dragon, but it did no damage to me, luckily. I don't think the Ender Dragon really did any damage to me whatsoever. And then by this point I had one last one to do. It was rather far, Missed it first time, second time, could I get it? Yes, I did. And they were all down, and it was just time to take out the Ender Dragon now. Luckily my bow was super powerful. It took quite a while to get him down there because he would just fly off really far away and do some random maneuvers. But eventually I just kept wearing him down, kept shooting him. You know, I missed a lot of times, and you know, I think I probably went for about 300-400 arrows just getting him, and eventually there we go, I killed him. I got the Ender Dragon. It seems a shame though to get all this XP and not be able to use it. What a shame. I defeated the Ender Dragon and then I accidentally looked right into the eyes of an Enderman. Imagine if he killed me now. I know he wouldn't because I was too strong, but you know, there was a risk there. And a bit of one last stupid mistake for you. And now it was time to leave the end, and we were back at the house on day 100. This was it. We survived. We did it. We survived 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore Java Edition. Yeah, we accomplished quite a lot. You know, I wish I built a bit more, I would say that. But, you know, I was happy. Very happy with that run. We had some cool moments, we had some risks, and we had some very close calls. But I just sat there and watched the sunset on a grateful universe. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye.